Most people think financial freedom is a single destination. You either have it or you don't. You're either free or you're not. You're either rich or you're still working on it. That's not how it works. And that thinking is exactly what keeps most people stuck because they're chasing a finish line they can't even see clearly while completely ignoring the progress they're already making. I know because I was one of those people. For years, I sat in a corporate finance job telling myself I wasn't free yet, waiting for some future version of my life where everything would finally click into place. Meanwhile, I had already crossed milestones that deserved to be recognized, milestones that were quietly changing the direction of my life whether I noticed them or not. Financial freedom isn't a moment, it's a journey with very specific levels. And once you understand what those levels actually are and where you currently sit among them, everything starts to feel more possible. Today, I'm walking you through every level of financial freedom, using my own life as the map. There are 5 levels of financial freedom. Each one builds on the last. Each one changes how you think, how you sleep, and how you make decisions about your life. Most people are stuck somewhere between level 1 and level 2 without realizing that the gap between where they are and where they want to be is smaller than they think, and that crossing it requires a plan, not a miracle. I've lived through every single one of these levels. Some of them were uncomfortable, some of them took longer than I expected, and one of them, the one I almost missed entirely, changed everything. Let's start at the beginning. Level 1 is where everything starts, and for a long time, I didn't even realize I wasn't there yet. Financial stability means two things. Your debts are under control and you have a small emergency fund sitting between you and a crisis. When I was early in my corporate finance career, I had neither. Student loans, a car payment, a credit card balance I was slowly chipping away at, and exactly $0 set aside for anything unexpected. I was earning a decent salary and spending every dollar of it before the next one arrived. The illusion of stability is one of the most dangerous places to live financially. Everything looks fine from the outside. The salary hits, the bills get paid, life continues. But underneath, there is no margin. One unexpected expense, a medical bill, a car repair, or a job loss, and the whole thing unravels. Getting to level 1 required me to do 3 unglamorous things. I stopped pretending my debt wasn't a problem and made a real plan to eliminate it. I cut expenses I had been telling myself were necessary but weren't, and I built a $5,000 emergency fund before I did anything else with my money. It took me 14 months. It wasn't exciting, nobody was impressed by it, but the day I made my last debt payment and looked at a savings account with an actual buffer in it, something shifted. For the first time, I felt like I was standing on solid ground instead of financial quicksand. That feeling is level 1, and it is the foundation that everything else gets built on. Level 2 is where things start to get interesting, and if you've watched my previous videos, you already know this concept well. The survival number is the exact monthly income you need to cover your basic life expenses without touching your savings. Not your dream lifestyle, not your current lifestyle with all the extras, just the bare minimum that keeps the lights on, food on the table, and a roof over your head. When I was still in corporate finance, I spent almost a year calculating mine. Every expense written down, nothing rounded, nothing excluded, and I came up with a specific number, a number that became the foundation of my entire investing strategy. Level 2 means your assets are generating enough monthly income to cover that number completely without your salary. For me, that came from real estate. My rental properties, starting with that first modest single family home in a working class neighborhood, began producing cash flow that crept toward my survival number month by month. The day my rental income hit 100% of my survival number was the day the entire relationship between me and my corporate job changed. I no longer needed the salary to survive. I chose to keep it for a while to build further, but the choice was mine. And that shift from need to choice is one of the most significant moments in anyone's financial life. Level 2 doesn't mean you're living your dream life. It means nobody can take the floor from under you. And that changes everything about how you carry yourself. Level 3 is where freedom starts to feel real in your everyday life. Financial flexibility means your assets are generating enough income to cover at least half of your current lifestyle, not just your survival expenses, but the actual life you're living right now, the dinners out, the vacations, the things that make life enjoyable rather than just sustainable. When I reached this level, something unexpected happened. I stopped making decisions out of financial fear. Before level 3, almost every significant decision in my life had a financial anxiety underneath it. Taking a trip, can I really afford this? Leaving a bad situation, but what about the income? Saying no to something, but what if I need the money later? At level 3, that anxiety started to quiet down. Not because I was wealthy by any conventional definition, but because my assets were now carrying enough of my life that my earned income felt like a bonus rather than a lifeline. This is also the level where I became a better investor. When you're not making decisions from desperation, you make better ones. You can afford to wait for the right deal. You can afford to say no to something that doesn't fit the strategy. You stop chasing and start choosing. Financial flexibility is the level most people don't even know exists. They jump from dreaming about survival to dreaming about abundance, skipping the middle entirely. But this middle level is where your entire relationship with money quietly transforms. Level 4 is what most people mean when they say financial freedom, and it is every bit as significant as it sounds. Full financial independence means your assets generate enough monthly income to cover 100% of your current lifestyle. Everything, not just the basics, not just half, all of it. The way you live right now, fully funded by what you've built. For me, this meant my real estate portfolio producing enough cash flow to cover my rent, my food, my insurance, my travel, my investments, and every other line item in my life without a salary attached to any of it. I remember the month I crossed this line clearly. I was sitting at my home desk, going through my numbers, rental income on one side, monthly expenses on the other, and for the first time, the income side was larger. Not by a massive margin, but it was larger, and I sat there for a long moment just looking at it. 10 years of corporate finance, 2 years of building while employed, months of sitting with uncertainty after leaving, and then a Tuesday morning in my home office, the numbers finally said what I had been working toward. You don't need anyone anymore. That's what level 4 feels like. Not arrogance, not a rival, just a quiet, deep, unshakable sense that you built something real and it works. At this level, your decisions in your life are no longer financial decisions, they're personal ones. Where you live, how you spend your time, what work you choose to do or not do, all of it driven by preference rather than necessity. That is a fundamentally different way to be alive. Level 5 is where financial freedom becomes something bigger than yourself. Abundant freedom means your assets don't just cover your life, they fund your dream life and begin building a legacy. More income than your lifestyle requires, the ability to give generously, invest boldly, and create something that outlasts you. I'll be honest with you, I am working toward level 5 right now. I haven't fully arrived, but I've seen enough of it to tell you what it looks like from the edge. At this level, the question shifts completely. It's no longer how do I cover my life, it's what do I want to do with the excess? And that is a question most people never get to ask, which is exactly why getting here matters. Here's what I want you to take from this. Look at these 5 levels honestly and ask yourself, where am I actually sitting right now? Not where you want to be, not where you think you should be, where you actually are. If you're at level 1, working on debt and building your first emergency fund, that is real progress and it is the foundation of everything that comes after. Honor it. If you're at level 2, building towards your survival number, you are closer to the most significant shift in your financial life than you probably realize. Keep building. If you're between level 2 and level 3, your assets are working but not yet carrying half your life, focus on adding cash flow. One more property, one more income stream. The gap closes faster than it opens. If you're at level 4, take a moment to recognize what you built. Then ask yourself what level 5 looks like for you specifically. The map is clear, your position on it is knowable, and the next step from wherever you are is always specific and always actionable. Financial freedom is not a single moment. It's not a number in a bank account. It's not a date on a calendar. It's a series of levels, each one building on the last, each one changing how you live, how you think, and what becomes possible for you. I started at 0. Debt, no savings, no plan, a corporate salary that felt like security but was really just a comfortable ceiling. And I climbed, one level at a time. Not quickly, not perfectly, but consistently. The alarm still goes off at 6:47 a.m. sometimes. The difference is now I decide what happens next. And that's what every level of financial freedom is really building toward. Not just income, not just assets, the ability to make that choice and mean it. Whatever level you're on right now, start climbing.